Sending something about a night and I changed to
when I started doing this, something messed up today.
Testing. Just want to make sure it's on.
Good.
Yes, how are you?
It's 7:07 on Tuesday, January 20th. Welcome to our Borough Council meeting. If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just bear me 1 second. A council person is going to take the meeting on a call.
And while we are getting Ms. Kelso on the telephone, I can report that prior to tonight's meeting, the Morrisville Borough Council met in executive session where 2 items of litigation were discussed and the police collective bargaining agreement negotiations were discussed.
I got you on call. Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Hello, I'm sorry, I put you on speaker, my bad.
Oh, yeah, you're on. Everybody can hear you.
Okay, good.
Virginia, roll call.
Present. Present.
Present.
Here.
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 Here. Present.
Here.
Scott Holbert on behalf of Flagrant Associates. Here.
Okay, our community announcements. The borough received a grant in the amount of $400,000 through the DCED local share account for the Morrisville Fire Department Light Rescue High Water Vehicle. I know they're very pleased, and I've seen their posts on Facebook, so congrats to our fire department. We also thank everyone who was involved in getting them that grant. Next is the board openings. We have nominations for the Morrisville Municipal Authority. It's a 5-year appointment expiring on 12/31/30. The agenda may have a different date, but we have corrected the date. So we have a letter of interest from Roy Snare, and we have a letter of interest from William A. Foote III. Do I have any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Roy Snare. I second.
There, we don't have a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Any other nominations?
I nominate William, I can't pronounce his last name.
William A. Foote. Okay, we have a nomination for Roy and William. Anyone else? Okay, so council, if you would just, when your name is called, if you would just say either Roy or William. Virginia?
Royce Nair.
William Foote?
William.
William.
Roy?
Royce Nair.
Mr. Foote.
Royce Nair.
Thank you, Virginia.
All right, with a 4-4, we have a tie with appointments. The two municipal authorities, the mayor may break the tie. You can either cast his vote now or ask for a meeting later. Which would you choose to do?
We'll cast it for William A. Foote III.
Okay, William Foote. I don't see him. I don't know him. But I guess he's not here, so congratulations to Mr. Foote. Nominations for the Civil Service Commission. It's a one-year alternate appointment expiring 12/31/31. The agenda does not say alternate, and we have corrected the date. There is a letter of interest from Rebecca Guzman. Are there any nominations?
I nominate Rebecca Guzman.
Okay, any other nominations? Okay, we have a nomination for Rebecca Guzman. Let me just do it. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes 8-0. Congratulations. I think Rebecca is here. Yes, oh, congratulations. Council discussion items. Does anyone have anything to discuss?
Yes, Madam President. I just wanted to take a moment right now to mention that earlier last week I sent out an email to council and yourself discussing adding a few items to the agenda for tonight. And I did a follow-up one over the weekend as well, and I did not see the 4 additional motions that I asked to be added to the agenda added on. I'm not sure if we were still having a technical issue with any of that, but I would like an opportunity now to make a motion for an amendment to add action items E to H to tonight's agenda. Going with action item E, motion to post and advertise the position of part-time head librarian for the Morrisville Free Library. Action items F, motion to establish a consistent procedure for nomination of expiring committee terms and sufficient timeline for residents to submit their letters of interest. Action item G, motion to move a public comment period for non-agenda items to the beginning of the meeting after special presentations for all Borough Council meetings. And action item H, motion to establish a committee and search for a borough manager. If for the record in Virginia, I do have a typed copy of that out, if that would make your job a little easier for all those items. I just thought that might be helpful. But just to add those items back for tonight's agenda for discussion and consideration.
So I'm just going to, I think we should handle it before adding them.
Well, you have a
Just to add them.
You have a motion. We have to deal with the motion first. Is there a second?
I move to motion to add these items to the agenda.
I second the motion for,
Yeah, we have a second.
We have a second.
I guess we're going to take a vote now.
Correct.
Virginia, roll call.
Will there be a discussion on why we would like to add
Amendments are under
them?
discussion.
There's a motion and a second. I think we have to vote first, correct, Scott?
I thought we discussed before we vote.
What's the discussion? I mean, you've made a procedural motion to add items.
I was just checking if that was just the process.
Oh, yeah. So you made a procedural motion to add items. The only thing is that you would have to explain why you want them added, which you did.
Yeah, I did that.
And then at that point, actually, we need a public comment on the motion first, and then, no, it's a procedural motion, no public comment. So take the vote, and then we'll see.
Then we can discuss it. Okay, for roll call, Virginia?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Anna Langen.
Yes.
Sean Ray.
Yes.
Scott Robinson.
Oh.
Peggy Wolf.
Yes.
Brian Dufour. Yes.
5-3, yes.
Virginia, would it be easy for record for me to give you a printout of that, of those motions to make it easier for her?
Okay, the motions have been added. Any other council discussion items?
Actually, let me apologize. One more thing, Madam President. During our preliminary discussions prior to the reorganization meeting, we had asked, and I forget who it was, sent the email about special solicitor not being part of the reorganization meeting, and we were told in a response from, I believe, Borough Manager that that was a decision that would be put onto this January agenda for appointing special counsel. I know we had letters of interest for it. I don't see it on the agenda, so I guess in this case, I would like to know if we could potentially add that in order to have time to review the packets and the offers from these potential attorneys, if we could add that to our February meeting for discussion, since it's not on this meeting for discussion as we were previously told. So I guess, would I be able to make a motion to add appointment of special solicitor to the February meeting?
No, we can't do that for that. It's a future meeting that's to be done.
Okay, I didn't know if for future consideration that would be the case.
It's just something you bring up and are asking for.
Okay, well then, brought up.
There is no motion for that. Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, no motion.
Anything else from council?
Yes, I have something. It's regarding the appointments that were made last month for the Economic Development Council. I'm wondering about the validity of those EDC appointments. First off, they were made for 4 years. EDC terms are 3 years. And the appointments you made were for 4. They were also appointed very early. These appointments were expiring in January. And normally they're made on the month that they expire. That's been past practice. And usually they're shown on the agenda the month before at least. The other thing that I don't understand is that there was a term that was expiring in March. Joe McGowan's term was expiring in March 26, yet he was appointed to a new term. So I'm a little confused as to which terms are these and how they're set up. But I don't know how you can point to a 4-year term when there are only 3.
Well, for the term years, that would be we can correct that and make it the way they are. But the appointments being done in December are appropriate. It's a stylistic choice between what the municipality is. Bristol Township did their appointments in December for their new appointments. Bucks County, the county did all their appointments in December as well for the new appointments beginning in the new year. There shouldn't be any terms differing, and that's one of the things we talked about. I can't remember if it was the November or the December meeting where we talked about how we're trying to correct the issues. There shouldn't be any one random term for someone expiring in March if everyone else's are at a different time. They should all be annual appointments with an expiration date of either the last day of the year being December 31st or the day before the first Monday of the year.
And I understand.
Annual appointments, so the March, I'm not too sure. That shouldn't be that way. It should be on the calendar year like the rest of them.
Right, but Joe McGowan's term had already been determined to expire March 26. Is he being appointed to a different seat? Because his term was, so who's finishing that term out?
No, it should not be expiring in March.
But his is my point.
It shouldn't be.
Well, we've got 2 more appointments that are going to be expiring in March.
And we need to correct those.
And we can correct those when the appointments are made. We could make those appointments end in December. But to go back and change someone's appointment that he thought he was going to be on this.
He's appointed to his new term and correcting it so that it is on the calendar year like it should be.
Okay, so you're appointing in December for a term that is expiring in March.
No, begins in January. It should have expired in December.
Okay, and just most of those municipalities do notify the public a month before, just so you know.
They notify the people that have been reappointed, yes.
No, it's on their agenda.
All appointments are listed on the website with the expiration dates. So if there is any resident, and we do put on the agenda, like letters of interest can be found with the website address. So if there's anybody in the public that is interested in any position on any board, they should go to the website. They should see what boards they're interested in, look when the expiration dates are, and then they should send a letter in. As far as I know, the office holds any letter. So if you sent in a letter now for an appointment that is going to finish at the end of the year, they will hold it, and then they will put it on the agenda for the month that it needs to be done. So I don't know what the problem is.
The problem is that you appointed, if someone went and looked, they would see an appointment, a seat that was terming in March. How would they know that you were appointing in December?
I don't know that Joe's was done in March. It was due in March. You know that. I don't know that.
I do know that. I have the information here if you'd like to see it. Where the appointment was made? Would you like to see that?
But it might have been, if you have an old agenda, it might have been an incorrect date.
Minutes.
You have the minutes?
Yes.
But that's from the agenda. There might have been a correction, just like we made a correction.
No, the minutes.
The minutes reflect what was said at the meeting.
Correct.
But there might have been a mistake made. And
In the minutes?
Not a mistake made in the minutes. The minutes record what you were saying. There might have been a mistake to say it was a March term from the beginning, and that would have been on the agenda and in the minutes, yes, but that might have not been the correct term.
Well, then it was done at the meeting, and it was spoken at the meeting, and it was written in the minutes of the meeting that he was being appointed to a term that expired March 1st, 2026. The website said his seat was terming March 2026. So how would someone know that that seat was being changed and was going to be appointed in December?
Again, that's a correction we've been trying to do and correct for the last however many years. I mean, this is something that the last two managers have been trying to correct.
I guess it then also comes into the appropriateness of making sure we are notifying and putting that into the public forum, especially if we have two more appointments coming up in at least March, that if that's going to be the case and these terms are going to be altered and voted on, to again put a procedure in place to make sure that we are notifying either those who are expiring and not aware that it's changing, or to update it publicly so that those who are looking online will know that these changes are occurring to those terms as well. I mean, as you said, we have two more coming up as well. Just trying to make sure the public can be steadily involved and aware of what's going on. I know the website being updated is great, and that's more of a recent thing because it's been a long-term issue and it's fantastic. But this is why we need to make sure that this is a public aware issue and that they're given that awareness, because I mean, it's great that it's on the website, but you know, we advertise a lot of things onto the site, but we still promote it in order to encourage that engagement. And we've done that historically here, literally up until last year. And I would love to see that continue because I thought it was great how we did it before. And I appreciate the corrections on the appointments as well for the dates.
If anyone's interested on being on a board in the next couple years, on the bottom of the agenda, and this agenda looks just like every other agenda in the county, it says board openings. Email letters of interest to office@morrisvilleborough.org. So if you
But
want to be on the board,
I think
send an
what's,
email.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I think what Scott is suggesting,
Oh, I thought he was finished. Go ahead, Scott. Finish.
No, that's it. So it's real simple. If you want to get on a board, you it has on the website. I know it's a little confusing, but this council up here, we didn't let all these expirations get out of control, where if there was someone on a board and they decided they didn't want to be on it anymore in May, and then historically somebody they had a vote and appointed somebody to take over in June, and then probably just kept them as June being their expiration date. It's like council. If I resign from council in April, my term isn't going to expire in April in a couple of years. It's going to expire at the end of the year when it should have. And that's what we're trying to do with board openings. So it's a little bit of work right now. But I think in a year or two, everybody will expire in December, and then everybody will be happy.
Peggy?
One thing, will the...
No,
will the
Peggy,
terms-
Peggy was next.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
I just thought what Scott was suggesting, correct me if I'm wrong, that we just somehow post positions that are coming up in committees in the borough so that the public is aware of openings and then be able to apply for
No, the
them.
terms are on the website, but not the posting.
Okay, we're going to move on. Engineer report, Gilmore and Associates. Welcome, Jacob.
Hello, everyone. So I have actually another announcement to add that Helen didn't say. Today we found out that the DCD Multimodal Transportation Fund grants were awarded. So Morrisville Borough received 2 grants through that program. One for the North Pennsylvania Avenue and Trenton Avenue traffic signal modification project. I've been talking about that for a long time. Borough is anticipated to be awarded $182,686, and that'll go to, in addition to the PennDOT Multimodal Transportation Fund that the borough has, that's $377,805. We're looking at what does that come out to? About $600,000 project cost. There is for the PennDOT MTF grant, which the borough had already received. There is a match requirement for that, and it is $113,342. I've talked about that before. But the DCD, the new one that has just been awarded, requires no match. The second project that was awarded then is for the South Pennsylvania Avenue traffic calming improvements. And that anticipated award is $813,472. And again, that one has no match requirement for the borough on that. So, yeah, correct. No match for that one as well. So we should be officially receiving those award notifications soon and getting those contracts underway and proceeding with design and construction.
Thanks for all the work on that, Jacob.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. All right. So a couple projects I'll give you an update on are first the 2026 road program. That project is currently out to bid. Bids will be due on January 30th. That includes various roads in wards 3 and 4, which is approximately 6.39 miles of roads. And we had estimated the cost just to be around another $2 million for that project. So we will see what they come in January 30th and anticipate that being on your February council for consideration to award the project. A second project I have to discuss is the Manor Park Senior Center parking lot project. That project is also out to bid right now. Those bids are due February 9th. This is a joint project with the county. We're doing the asphalt repairs for the settling asphalt in the parking lot, and then the county had some drainage improvements that they wanted included in the project, so we tied them together. This project, for those new members on the council, has grant funding in a total of $706,421. One of those funds being through the Community Development Block Grant put out by Bucks County for $415,700. And then the other $290,000 is coming from the county's funds. So that project then again, bids due February 9th. Anticipate that being on your February council agenda for consideration to award the project again. Both of those projects are subject to the responsible contractor ordinance requirements, so we will have to follow those. If there is a 30-day review period typically, up to 30 days review. So depending on how that documentation comes in, it will be decided if it's on your February agenda or not. I'm anticipating it will be, but we will see as they come in. The last project I just wanted to update on out loud here was for the police Sallyport project. All of the outside work is substantially complete. The contractor was back in since I made an update last. They're wrapping up some punch list items. We're now coordinating with the door security company to get those door locks installed and the camera equipment security to get those new cameras installed for that. So then the police can officially open that for use. And we've discussed with the borough manager holding a future ribbon cutting ceremony for that when the time comes. So then I have provided then in your packet was my monthly engineer's report for all the work that was completed in December. So I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any of those, but I will stop there with the projects.
Any questions for Jacob?
No real questions. It's super exciting to be awarded for the project down in South Pennsylvania as we continue to try and combat that truck traffic down there. These traffic calming measures will help us kind of eliminate them coming onto the road. It would be a little bit more difficult and everything to come through. So that's super exciting and with no match.
Yep.
So great job. Thank you for your help with that.
That, the bid for the roads on January 30th, that's when the bids will be opened, right?
Yep, correct.
That could be live streamed or people can watch that?
It's not live streamed anywhere, but the results are instantly available on the Penn Bid website, which is where we bid the projects through.
Okay.
So there will be immediate release, and I'll provide documentation to the borough. And if we want to put it on the website, we can.
It's all open and transparent.
It is. Yep.
I have a question. I was wondering if you could please arrange for an open meeting, a public meeting with the engineer to give the opportunity for us new members and the public to understand some of the projects that you're working on. This would drag on if we went through it in a business meeting. Is that a possibility?
I'll defer that there to Mr. Dillon.
We'll get back to you.
I do know that the engineer has met with council members individually in the past, so I'd like that opportunity just for all of us to catch up.
I don't know of any time the engineers met individually with council members. There's a cost involved to it. That there's an engineer hourly rate that we would have to pay.
Correct.
So we'll get back to you. Anyone else? Oh, go ahead, Marie.
I would like to say something
Go ahead, Marie.
to anyone there again. I've made it clear at least 2 or 3 times throughout the meetings, with the agenda and through the council meetings. I've said to the public many times about suggestion box, any concerns. And I also said the possibility of maybe a town hall meeting, and there have been absolutely no responses. So I do want to say that if citizens are concerned, again, I'm opening up to them, to everyone in Morrisville. We can do a suggestion box to know what their main concerns are. Thank you.
Also, for Jacob, you do provide a in-depth report for the council members in the delivery every month, correct?
Yep, and that's what I was referencing. If I know you get all that, so if you have any questions, I'm up here to answer them at this time. So.
Right. Okay, nothing else from council?
Do we have a estimation? I know it's still not fully planned exactly when, but do you have an estimation as to when we can anticipate the Sally Port to be ready?
I'm hoping here within the next month or so.
Wow, that's soon. All right, fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, all the exterior work's complete. They finished up the door. They had to finish up the man door. They're coming back, I think they told us this week to finish that up. The door locks are obviously the piece that they need to make sure they work, and the security cameras. So we've been coordinating back and forth with those 2 contractors to try to get them in here as soon as we can. So they did reinforce the roof. Yep. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Perfect. Yep.
Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you, Jennifer.
We're going to go on to the solicitor report.
Yes, thank you. We had a motion earlier to add a few things to the agenda items. I was going to talk about this in my report, why they weren't put on the agenda. Pursuant to the borough code, the manager is responsible for creating the agenda. He has a time period. He determines the order. He determines the items on there. With regard to some of these specific items, there's issues with it. For instance, so for the first one, it was the part-time head librarian. Your borough manager, outside of the police and himself, is responsible for hiring all borough employees. Other than the police department, the police chief, and the borough manager, that's the only involvement employment council has. It's his decision whether that be a part-time or a full-time position. He's exploring that right now. So wasn't included on the agenda because it's not in your purview to direct him to hire someone specifically or advertise this. In the past, some managers have put advertisements on. We've recommended to them that it was not necessary because, again, it was in their purview. There are other municipalities where the manager is not the hiring authority, council is, the board of supervisors are, so that's why there's different things in different places. But in this case, this one wasn't included because it's the manager's, creates the agenda, and it's his prerogative to hire this position.
It's also in Borough Code that states that council does not get involved in the hiring or the firing of individuals.
Outside of the police department. Motion to establish a consistent procedure. I mean, we have that policy now. It might not like it. I don't know I mean, you establish a consistent procedure. The concern with that is, I guess you're going to talk about it, but what is that procedure going to be if you're going to vote on it? You need that written down. How is that going to come about? Again, in your borough code for the third one, manager sets the agenda. It's his responsibility to create it. So if you wanted to change the order that he's doing it and have him do a specific order, you would need an ordinance amendment to do that. It can't just be a simple motion. The last one, again, in your purview, but we just appointed a manager last week, 2 weeks ago. If you choose to move forward with it, that's your prerogative, but.
We also don't do committees in order to hire. With all 8 people are involved, and 8 people make the decision on what the hiring process would be. So having a committee to search for a borough manager, and I'm not really quite sure how, because as Scott Holbert said, we just appointed the borough manager, and as far as I know, he did not put in a letter of resignation, correct? So he is here, and so then it seems a moot point. Are you going to fire him? What are you going to do? Because he has been appointed. So that is why these items were not included, because they shouldn't have been included. So can I make a motion to take them off, or should we vote on them? So do we want to take them off or go through the process of voting on them?
I motion to vote on them.
I second.
There's not a motion, it's just a general question.
I support voting on them. We could at least have the discussion.
Okay. Okay. So let's move on to anything else, Scott?
Happy New Year. Welcome back.
Okay, I do not forget you this time, Chief Ciampa, so we're ready for your report.
I don't know if I can top Jay, so I'll be really brief anyway. Good evening, everyone. So I was going to provide a Sally Port update, but I think Jacob did that. Mayor, I think you have the large scissors, so make sure they're sharpened, and hopefully in a month or so we can cut that ribbon. So far this month, we put out 5 truck details, and I think they've been very successful. I received an email from George. Is George here tonight? George? No. From George Homesteader, and I got his approval. He noticed, and that's a good thing. Anytime George is happy with the truck situation, but we're working on it. Hopefully that these calming devices, when they do come, will add to the reduction in truck traffic. We are currently in a code blue. Tonight is the last night into tomorrow morning. So code blue is if there are any citizens that are in need of overnight shelter based on the weather and the forecast, there are accommodations that are available. Our code blue site is the Woodside Church on Woodside Road in Yardley. If you go to our Facebook page, there is an 800 number with more information if you know anybody. Tonight is the last night, so tonight until tomorrow, but I believe it's open to anybody who doesn't have a place to stay. And I just want to say that 2025 was a challenging but successful year. We're through it. We're very excited for 2026. I think we're going to focus more on things that we couldn't do last year, like training, and some new ideas. We're going to explore some community outreach and some programs that I think are going to be very beneficial to the community and the police department. We're also exploring the ideas of, growth within our police department. I found out today that one of our newer officers is a certified in CPR and first aid instruction. So typically, every 2 years when our certifications expire, we hire an outside agency to come in and certify us, which comes at a cost, of course, and this is something that we could do in-house and become more efficient and cost-effective. So we're going to be exploring that as well. And my goal this year going forward is going to be taking on the tough task, and Scott, I'll need your help on this, but policy review and revision. When I got here and I looked at our policy manual, I said, I'm going to rewrite this in 2 weeks or so. And obviously it's a much more in-depth task, and that is something that I want to focus on this year. So that's all I have.
We always need that.
When we're operating with the best practices and standards, we're providing a better service for the public that relies on us. I mean, that's hands down. So I was hoping to get a grant for accreditation, which would rebuild our policy manual, but that didn't happen. So that's all I have.
Chief, I would just like to say thank you. I've had some interaction with some other local police departments, and their employees talk highly of you. They like your leadership. They like what's going on here in Morrisville, and I really appreciate that. You're giving us more consistency in our police department.
I appreciate you saying that. I say this all the time, and I told Scott, there's no I in team, and we have a very good functioning group, and it works. So thank you. Any other questions?
Yes, I actually have one. It's code blue. Do you assist if you see an animal outside in this temperature?
This is just for people.
Okay.
Chief, if you don't mind, I was kind of curious as to, could you give me an assessment of what you feel our needs for the police department are at the moment?
With regard to staffing, equipment, training?
Yes.
All of it?
Yes.
Well, I could say that when I got here, I thought that we were operating at a level that was below most efficient. We were in a bad way. We've increased staffing since then, but I said this in the past, and I stand by what I said in the past, that Morrisville is a very unique borough. It could be a very challenging borough, and I just got the numbers recently, and I believe that we were the highest, most calls for service of any borough in the county. So I think that the police department, the community that we serve, and everybody that passes through would certainly benefit from increased staffing levels. That's something that I would never, ever turn down. It's something that, I was vocal about when I got here, and I certainly stand by that. I understand that growth is a process, and, Rome wasn't built in a day, but there is definitely room to increase our staffing levels, our equipment. Thank you to the governing body and Mr. Dillon. We are very fortunate. We have a brand new addition to our building. We're working on, more equipment, technology with our fingerprint machine. So we're moving in the right direction that way. Training was one of the things that we were lacking in last year due to the fact that our staffing levels were low. We couldn't give people the time off to go to training because of those staffing levels. So we definitely benefited from the 2 that we hired last year. We're moving in the right direction, but we can certainly, I think, benefit from future growth.
Thank you for your candor.
And I'd like to ask the question, Chief, if you don't mind, why don't you think we're getting more police officers applying to our borough?
We are or we're not? I'm sorry.
Why are we not getting more police officers to apply to our borough?
That's an interesting question. I actually opened an email this morning, and I was on one of my law enforcement sites, and the caption was something along the lines that police departments are now bidding on officers. People are not exactly knocking down the door to do this profession anymore. There was a time that you had to barge your way in the door to a police department to try to get an application. And now we are scraping and pulling kids in. Recruitment is on the forefront, and it's one of the things that we focus on. There are challenges. The recruitment is down all over the nation. It's difficult, I think, for us to compete with some of the bigger jurisdictions that are offering, more to their officers. And that's something that, obviously a smaller borough we'd have to deal with, but that's one of the things that is definitely steering applicants in different directions. As a whole, last year in the county, it was reported over 70 vacancies. And like Falls Township, I think they hired almost a dozen last year, and their starting salary is significantly higher, so they're going to be more attractive to apply at.
Thank you.
Sure.
I actually have a kind of a two-part question.
Okay.
How many part-time officers do we have? What's their availability? And how hard is it to get part-time officers on staff?
So we have 3 part-time officers now. I say their availability, I say it's limited. One is a full-time sheriff's officer, one has a job in a private sector full-time, and one is part-time employed in another jurisdiction. What was the second part? I'm sorry.
And how hard is it to get part-time officers on staff?
So kind of going on the question that you asked, Ms. Walsh, is with those vacancies, there was a time where these young kids would come out of the academy and it was easy to find part-time help. But with these vacancies, they're almost walking into full-time positions, and it's become much harder to find part-time employees that, frankly, I'm not looking for more officers my age, right? This is, I'm an older guy. This is a young man's game, a young woman's game too. But they're just not out there. And I think that also, some of the other agencies are more reliant on their part-time officers where they're part of the schedule. So there's a couple agencies that offer overtime and special time, which we don't have. So I think overall, it's just everyone is having an issue finding part-time. There's also the factor that with part-timers, any officer, there's an investment with training and equipment. Every officer that we bring in the door requires a minimum of about $3,000 between equipment and a bulletproof vest. So it's great if you can get a part-timer that wants to make a career, but when you don't know, their fate and they can move on to another police department, and you just made a pretty large investment, into that temporary officer. But we try, we advertised, but we're not really getting the response.
It sounds like it's better just to hire full-timer versus part-timers. We'd be better off. At least that's what I'm getting
I
from.
like the officers that I could depend on and put in the schedule, but that's just my opinion.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Great. Consent agenda. Approval of the council meeting minutes from 12/16/25. Approval of the bill list from
Madam
12.
President, did we skip the Borough Manager report?
No,
Are we just going to have that tonight?
no.
Oh, I apologize. I thought maybe it just got missed.
Approval of the council meeting minutes from 12/16/25. Approval of the bill list from 12/1 to 12/31/25 in the amount of $545,606.30. Approval of the borough to co-sponsor and waive event fees in lieu of tree planting for Earth Day festivities with Il Capuli, Tlahutzili, Hummingbirds of the Earth. The event takes place on Saturday, April 18th from 10 to 4 at Colvins Ferry Park. John Lader to coordinate the tree planting. Approval of reappointing Curtin and Hefner LLP as zoning hearing board solicitor at a rate of $165 per hour. Scott, would you make the motion?
Excuse me, I have a quick question.
No, we're doing motions now. Diane, would you second?
A second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
May I ask a question? Since I wasn't here for the December 16th agenda, council meeting. How do I vote on that?
It was in your delivery, and you should have read it.
You're allowed to either if you feel comfortable voting for it, you can do that, or you can abstain. It's entirely within your choice.
With the explanation of
Why you're abstaining, with the explanation of why you have to abstain.
who you were in.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Is it still open for discussion?
Go ahead.
Okay, I just have a quick question on the, oh, God, sorry. Okay, on the bills, is there an opportunity, if we have a question on the bills, to ask a question before the meeting? Is that something like, we get the bill list on Friday night, so there's no opportunity on a Saturday or Sunday. Is there an opportunity if I just had a quick question on a bill?
To you. The email would go to Mr. Dillon, and he will.
I could do that. Okay, just want to make sure. And just one other quick question. Very excited about the tree planting, the Earth Day festivities that are going to be coming back. This is the 10th year for this very successful event. One of the things I'd like to see if we could talk about next month, I'm not going to do it now, is to help the organizer with obtaining a porta potty. I'm not suggesting, it would be great if we would cover it, but I think there might be ways that we could offer it to her for less than she spends. She spends $300 or so on that for the event, and I'd like to give that opportunity to her. And I'd also just like to make sure that we reserve that area. Previously, she was given approval to continue that line of trees staggering down on Philadelphia Avenue. I went through placement with John later. And I just want to make sure that we reserve that because she's planted a tree. This will be 10 trees that she's planted over the years. So she's a very reliable, very successful event that we need to support. And I just wanted to make sure we could address those two issues, but we don't have to do it now.
Okay. We have a motion, a second. Any public comment? Nothing from the public. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes 8-0. Action items. Call for a motion. Peggy, would you read 11A?
Call for a motion to adopt Robert's Rules of Order as the governing rules of all Morrisville Borough Council meetings.
Sean, would you second?
A second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Anything from the public? Don? State your name and address.
Don Rice, resident. The motion before council is to, quote, adopt Robert's Rules of Order as the governing rules. And you dropped out for or of, and then all Morrisville Borough Council meetings. You should add the for or of to the motion. I am here to point out that there is a conflict between Robert's Rules of Order and Pennsylvania's Open Meetings Law, the Sunshine Act. Robert's Rules of Order official meeting agenda for Robert's Rules of Orders, the official meeting agenda is voted on by council after the meeting is called to order. The Sunshine Act requires the official meeting agenda be published 24 hours prior to the council meeting. There is then a conflict between Robert's Rules of Order and the Sunshine Act. Another conflict is Robert Rules of Orders allows any council member to make a motion during a meeting after all agenda motions have been voted on. This is kind of appropriate given what you all did at the beginning of the meeting here. The Sunshine Act requires all non-procedural motions to be on the agenda that is published 24 hours before the meeting. I propose the motion to use Robert Rules of Orders for council meetings be amended to include phrasing that the Sunshine Act requirements will always supersede Robert's Rules of Order procedures. Additionally, I wish to point out that both Robert Rules of Orders and the Sunshine Act allow any member of council to provide motions for the agenda inclusion of these motions on the agenda is mandatory. It's not optional. If you don't like them, you still have to put them on there. The present requirement of an 8-day advance notice for such motions seems reasonable. Thank you.
Anyone else? Jane?
Happy 2026. Jane Berger, West Maple Avenue, here in Morrisville. Robert's Rules of Order have been the parliamentary procedures for this borough council, probably going at least 40 years or so. It's been around for a long time. And I have to think whether it's in the borough code or it's somewhere that it's stated that where there's a conflict, the borough code will prevail over it. Perhaps if the solicitor might get the word. So although there appear to be conflicts when you're looking at the two documents, it's very clear. On Robert Rules of Order, generally for nonprofits is what it was geared to, council president, chairperson doesn't vote. Obviously in borough council, council president votes. Then others say they provide votes to be in writing, and all of us have to be verbal. So if there's anything that just needs something to clarify that, obviously the borough code and other state law always take precedent where there is a conflict with Robert's rules. And over the many, many decades, that really hasn't posed a problem. But thank you, Mr. Rice, for pointing that out. And I am caught.
Thank you, Jane. Okay, anything else from council? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes 8-0. Call for motion to reopen the 2025 budget.
I would like to amend the motion to read, quote, motion to amend the 2026 borough budget per section 1311 of the Borough Code so that the required 10-day inspection of proposed amended budget be provided to the public, and to enable adoption of the amended budget by February 15th, 2026.
You can't amend something until there's a motion on the floor. As of right now, there's no motion to be amended. So unless someone makes a motion and there's a second, we can't consider an amendment.
I thought I just motioned to do that.
Your motion was to amend it, but there is no motion to amend yet. You would need the motion first.
I'm motioning to amend instead of just saying to reopen the budget to provide the per section 1311.
The solicitor is stating.
You can only amend a motion once the motion has been made. We need you would need a motion on the floor and a second to amend it, or else it fails for not having a motion.
Right, so we just need to make a motion.
And I motion to amend the wording.
Just make the motion first.
I'll make the motion to reopen the budget for 2026.
I second it.
And now pick.
I would like to amend the motion to read, motion to amend the 2026 borough budget per section 1311 of the Borough Code so that the required 10-day inspection of the proposed amended budget be provided to the public, and to enable adoption of the amended budget by February 15th, 2026.
I'd like to second it.
You have to make a motion.
There was a motion to amend and a second. We are there.
We are there?
Yeah, I mean, if you reopen the budget and go through the process, that's the state law. That's what we have to follow if that's we go through with it. So, I mean,
Clarifying the language, but also I believe we had the wrong year listed on this agenda because it says 2025 budget. I think it was supposed to be 2026.
you have a motion to amend, so we need to take a vote on the motion to amend.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter, so.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. Abstentions? Motion passes 7-1. So
Discussion on the motion.
any
to amend.
discussion?
Motion right now. Yes. Okay, good.
The motion as amended.
So now we're discussing the motion as it's been amended, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
So the borough manager, just for the publics, we had a meeting with the 4 new council people, as well as Scott Robertson and myself were present, and the borough manager stands behind this budget. He thinks that it's a good budget, correct?
Yes.
And his opinion is that it does not need to be reopened. So anyone else have any comments?
I have one. Can you read what your amendment was again? Like nice and loud and slow. I'm old, like I'm having trouble hearing with the vent up here too.
Motion to amend the 2026 borough budget per section 1311 of the Borough Code so that the required 10-day inspection of the proposed amended budget be provided to the public, and to enable adoption of the amended budget by February 15th, 2026. My understanding is that if we do amend the budget, that we need to do it in time to provide the public with 10 days to inspect the amended budget. And then we need to have, we only have until February 15th to adopt an amended budget.
Can you tell me what you would like to amend in the budget? Like a specific line item that you don't like?
Yes, I have a number of things I would like to amend in the budget. I'm very concerned about several things in the budget. I'm very concerned about the reduction of police salaries of $92,000. I'm concerned that we cut 10 mills or $600,000 from our budget, $800,000 from our budget. And I think that we have a significant amount of debt that we need to pay. So I'm very concerned about having enough money in the budget to pay our debt.
Okay, for the record, for the public, Chief, this is for you. I'm going to give you, you probably know this. So if you have 3 police officers that are maxed out and they make $100,000 a year, okay? Your budget for those police officers for that year is going to be $300,000. If those 3 top salary police officers leave and you replace them with people starting at $50,000, now these numbers are hypothetical, but you'll get the point. If you replace those 3 officers with 3 new officers that are starting at the bottom rate, that year they're only going to cost you $150,000. Now you can say, well, we're saving $150,000 since they're not at top rate. Or you can say, well, you're cutting from the police department $150,000. We're not cutting $92,000. These are salaries, Chief. Most of our half your department's not even at top rate yet. Is that correct? Correct. So we're not cutting from the police department. Okay, we're saving that $92,000 this year. Next year or the following, I'll guarantee you in 2 years that money will be back because they'll be at top rate. So we're not cutting from the police department. As far as the 10 mills goes, we lowered taxes 10 mills. And Mr. Dillon thought that was a good idea. Mr. Dillon's done a pretty good job down in Bristol, and he's trying to bring that expertise and success up here. Okay? Bristol's not perfect, but they're doing pretty good. We have a 10 mil tax increase or decrease. Okay? Now, did everybody's taxes go down 10 mils? No, not if you work, because you got to pay the EIT. But our seniors right now that are on a fixed income got a nice little discount. I mean, if the seniors, if everybody wants their taxes raised more, email the borough manager, email Helen, email me and tell me that tax increase or that tax decrease was too small. I want you to raise my taxes more. Okay? We were able to do that with the budget this year. We have a good budget, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinions too. So we're not cutting from the police, and That was a nice,
Well, the budget, with all due respect, Scott.
Scott was still talking, Peggy.
I can't respond to him.
No, Peggy, he's still
not done yet,
talking.
Peggy. I'm not
not done.
So the
Okay.
way that $92,000 was being framed to the public, Chief, you could attest to this. It's not, we're not cutting $92,000 from the police department, okay? Our police budget was put together by our chief, okay? It's his budget. We approved it. He's been doing a good job here. As long as he keeps doing a good job here, I'll be happy, and I'm sure most of the people in this room are happy with the job that he's doing. But that's his budget, okay? That $92,000, it's not a cut. It's a savings this year that it's going to cost us that money in a year or two when these officers go from their first year to their second year to their third year, okay? And the starting salary is lower than some of the other municipalities in the county. However, our police officers, they hit top rate in 3 years. There's a lot of other police departments. There's a lot of companies out there. I know I work for UPS. Right now at UPS, it's 4 years till you hit top rate. Most departments don't hit top rate in 3 years like ours do. So you bite the bullet a little bit. That's no pun intended. Your first year or two, but then when you hit your year number 3, then you're at the top rate. But $92,000 is because we have a bunch of officers that are not at top rate right now. Thank you.
And also the debt, Mr. Dillon has his handle on the debt. He is looking into, I forget what you just told me, that you're locking into a rate, a very low rate. Do you want to say what it is, or do you want Virginia to say what it is?
See if we can get this thing working. Sorry. No, I was going to ask Virginia to stand up and just say that we've locked in an interest rate for all of 2026 on our investments of 3.2%. This is after the bank moved our interest rate down to about 2.4, 2.6. And I gave Virginia a couple bits of information, and she sent a message to the bank, and the bank agreed to increase our rate for our interest earnings for the whole year to 3.2%, which I think is pretty good given the way interest rates are going down. So
on top of him looking at our investments, he is also looking at our debt and trying to figure out the lowest possible interest that we would pay on that. So I don't have any concerns about paying our debt. Do you have any concerns about paying our debt?
No.
No.
I have a question.
Sorry, I have the floor. You need
I
to
apologize.
ask. So as far as I'm concerned, the 3 things that you have brought up are kind of moot points.
What are the 3 things? So Scott told me that even though the line item in the budget reads $92,000 less in police salaries, that is not reducing the police budget. And with all due respect, I don't think we should be paying even our starting officers $53,000 a year. I believe it's the lowest starting salary in the county.
That is in the police contract, and we don't have a choice in that.
Oh,
but our police contract ended on at the end of December.
This is not the place to be talking about that. This is arbitration, and it's personnel issues.
When I've talked to other boroughs, as far as I was concerned, arbitration, talking to lawyers with PBAs, that arbitration is considered public information, which is typically why it consists of a committee of different people, usually several members of council. I believe that's why we've had, in this case, a request to have people more involved with this. I mean, we normally would and historically have a committee set up for this
I think we've gotten on
situation.
topic. We are talking about amending the budget. We are not talking about any.
Well, I'm going back and I'll go back into that one for us. So take a look. I understand the whole 90,000 for the cut when it comes to the salary differentials, but I think that just kind of overlooks the fact that we are still struggling with a personnel issue. We currently have 9 full-time officers aside from the chief currently on the streets right now. We heard from the chief's evaluation, obviously more personnel could be beneficial. I've looked at other boroughs and other police departments that also are functioning at a similar level as us, and they are running at a higher capacity than we are. I know, taking a look at the 2019 study on our police department, said that our average should be anywhere from 16 to 17 officers. Now, obviously, I don't realistically think that's a reasonable number there, but we haven't even hit double digits.
Okay,
and
we're
yes,
still
I know our
talking about
contract-
opening the budget.
Yes, I'm saying that this is reasons for, I apologize, for reasons for reopening this budget, because we have these negotiations going on. We need to plan ahead for those needs, plan ahead for the requests. I know we're currently trying to get that settled, and we know that that's going to potentially raise those rates as it is. But a part of the reason to reopen this budget and reevaluate this millage change is this money better spent towards fixing and applying these things to our public works, to our police departments, these lower salaries. I mean, maybe our top out salaries, 15,000 less than the averages at this point. We have officers who are doing an obscene amount of overtime, just according to our budget as it is. Our hope to ratify this has been doubling our part-time officer hireage, but as we already heard from the chief, that part-time need is even harder to fill than our full-time, because our full-time has, last time I checked with it, was like about 74 openings in Bucks County for officers to go. And we are currently struggling with that need to fill that with more applicants as it is, or in this case, hopefully to retain a lot of these officers. So with these negotiations coming up as well on the police side, why not make these adjustments so that way we have more to go into this collective bargaining with to hit a lot of those needs? I mean, right now, our current part-time rate, which the council itself set, is $29 an hour. And I think that's something we obviously need to reconsider, not part of the collective bargaining, but part of the budgetary considerations we need to take as council members. And that's the point that I think we're seeing a lot here. There's a lot of needs in the police department. The police themselves feel that there are a lot of needs in this department. And we have the opportunity to put that financial investment back into the police department, still providing a reduction for taxes, because we all love it. I want to see it. And I want to continue to see that gradually reduce each time. But right now, we're on the verge of doubling the max we've ever done, when we still have a lot of these upcoming needs that would be great to address. So doing a reduction, but our reduction average on the 10 mills is still, I forget what the monthly rate difference would be, but doing a smaller reduction and reducing down that millage so that we can start reducing down our needs and filling our needs for, my particular concern, like I said, is with the police, with their benefits, their options, their availability, their need to fill these vacancies, because we have officers that are struggling to get their work done.
Okay, anything from the public?
I don't know why we just ended discussion.
Yeah.
I don't see as to why. I mean, you still.
I'm asking, does the public have any comments? Go ahead, Kathy.
Will the council be able to continue comments?
Go ahead, Kathy.
Kathy P&Z to Hillcrest Avenue. Just as a disclaimer, I did not meet with any of your former or current people to discuss this budget, but I did come in to the Borough Hall and asked to see a copy. And just so you'll know why I asked to make a photocopy at that time, your stuff on your agendas and your different meetings, and even like tonight's, there's things that happen out of order. You can come to a meeting, the agenda says one thing and there's nothing. I wanted a date and time stamp that copy. At that time, I wanted just to make a photocopy, and I've done this for 3 years and 2 managers, so it was okay. I waited for the phone call, and all I did say was, just give me a copy. I would have next time maybe asked for maybe a certified copy. I don't know if that's in your fee schedule when you ask for those sort of records. I did wait, and I did take out my phone, and I made a copy. And just so everybody will know, there's a little thing in Microsoft. You can go make a copy, you can download it, it comes into your Excel, you can run it into your accounts. And it's really a great tool for people, especially like accountants. Probably, maybe your borough manager uses it to figure out like what your fund balances are and some of your accounting records. So if there was any discussion about that, everybody can know why I was here and what I did it. My one question I did notice was I really didn't see stuff in your sinking fund. And I was wondering where your stuff is on what was your fund balance? Like, where did you figure out where your year was going, where you're looking for? I'm sure in the next few days and in the last week, I know when I was on council, every white snowflake was a $sign coming down because everybody wants it. And they want those things put in. You're sitting here arguing about how much on a salary line. I don't know if maybe you guys are trying to say that you wanted to put in more funding for those salaries. Nobody ever knows when it's an emergency and cops have to stay. We live in a volatile world. It is a very hard job to have. I have a lot of family and friends that are on police departments, and we pray for their safety every time they go out. So you're not going to get a lot of people going, and you don't grow in that area. I don't know if you're asking for more salaries. If you did have budget meetings, I'd attended all of them in the past. It does tell you what's your personnel. How many people does John Lader have? It's just not the police department, it's your administration. What happened to those positions you had in previous budgets? And also there's a flow. I look at it this way. It is a cash flow on what your responsibilities are going to be. Where does your fund balance start at the end of the year? Where do you think that fund balance is going to be at the end of the year? And where do you think those ebbs and flows? EITs are wonderful, but you might want to ask a municipality that lived a lot on it,
Kathy.
what happened during another
Thank you,
COVID
Kathy.
or an example. That's it.
Okay, anybody else? State your name and address.
Rebecca Guzman, resident.
Use the mic, please.
Good evening, council members. As a concerned resident of Morrisville, 4th Ward, I stand before you to raise concerns of the 2026 budget. I feel like I will be echoing quite a bit of others before me during this, but there are many concerns regarding the 2026 budget as it stands. However, my concern focuses on the Morrisville Borough Police Department. As many of us here tonight are aware, we face large-scale budget cuts. There's been talk of estimates of their salary cuts and what that means and where that stands. Morrisville is small and unique municipal. Personally, I am a young woman who lives alone in Morrisville Borough facing their unique challenges. In my complex alone this year, there's been multiple car breaks-in, auto thefts, a shooting on the property, as well as a shooting in the shopping center down the street from my complex. In response to the area that would only benefit from proactive law enforcement presence, we face the complete opposite in the standing 2026 budget. Our law enforcement presence currently faces 3 full-time officers and a long list of part-time officers. So to the council, I'm asking, are you willing to prioritize our community and officer safety and well-being by reopening and discussing the 2026 budget as it stands?
Thank you. Go ahead, Jane.
Get stuck in the Belcourt. Jane Berger, West Maple Avenue. Like Ms. Pancita, who spoke, who's been on council for many years, I too have served on council for over 17 years, and we've worked a budget. And when we started, the mill was only worth $15,000 until the county finally reevaluated up. So the mill now is worth approximately $60,000. Always had a balanced budget. So you're talking about this $92,000 in the police budget. If you're looking at what you need for the budget, and that's covered it, it is a balanced budget. So I'm not hearing a lot on the revenue side other about some general statements that you have to increase my property taxes. Is it 1 mill, 3 mills, 5 years? Being prepared, coming here and willing to open the budget. I am disappointed that I am hearing only generalities and not more specifics. you know, what is the revenue line? Is it just going to increase the taxes? Do you need it? You've heard how the police budget is made, and when there are savings, you have a budget that meets your needs. Yes, we're always hiring police officers, and I won't go into that discussion because that is an issue much broader than the borough of Morrisville. But I would not have expected council to pass a budget that was not balanced. This is a balanced budget. You have the revenues needed to cover all of the costs. You've heard that we always were very conservative on revenues and always tried to maximize expenditures. So at the end of the year, you would always, you know, be in the black. My bottom line is, you do not need to reopen this budget. It is balanced. You have the revenue that supports the expenses, being conservative, and we've heard that we always have additional interest earned coming up and coming down. And with the conservative budget, that would provide probably some additional revenues. So I understand there were, you know, promises made and campaigns are over. We're here trying to work together. I appreciate the concern and interest of those that are new to council. And there's a lot to learn about government funding and fund balances and cash balances. So, you know, rest assured this budget is in good hands. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. Just one thing, Chief, you put together the police budget, correct? And the council, well, I know council didn't, but Mr. Dillon did not cut anything from the budget, correct?
There's the issue of salary, where the salary is set by the contract.
Correct.
I don't determine that.
Right. So other than the salary, nothing that you have asked for. So we are not cutting anything from anything that you require. Okay, thank you. Okay, we're good. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm invisible. Gary Taylor, just I think the chief said that one reason we can't attract new applicants is because our beginning salary is lower than all the areas around here. That could be an area that could be considered as we look at that. Secondly, we talked about reopening the budget. I don't see any problem reopening it for discussion. May not change, but if people want to, if the board wants to, the council wants to look at it, that's not a problem to take a look at that again, even if it doesn't change. Lastly, Mr. Dillon, you mentioned that the interest rate was 3%. Is that all monies that we have in cash that are vested in banks or someplace? Is that what we're talking about? That's our checking account. So we're not talking about the debt. What is how much are we paying on the debt percentage-wise? Do you know what the percent interest rate is on our debt?
It's the, for the road program, it's a variable rate. I think it's around 3.5% at the moment.
And do you know how much approximately our checking account is?
The checking account?
It's like $5 or $30,000 or $500,000.
I'll probably have that at the next month's meeting.
Okay. I'm just curious.
Yeah, it's I think it's pretty significant.
Okay. 3% may be great as far as banks go. I understand that, but that is not even keep up with inflation. I mean, I wish there was a more aggressive way to be able to invest those funds so we got a better return on them. I'm not criticizing anybody. I know fiduciary responsibilities, we all want everything totally safe.
In a municipality, you're limited as to how you can invest.
Yeah. There are ways to do
I know one municipality invested in real estate in Florida about 20-some years ago, and it didn't pan out too well.
That was just my question. Thank you very much.
Okay, Virginia, do you want to do roll call?
Oh, excuse me, we haven't finished discussion yet.
Right, you're the last comment.
Okay. First off, I want to make the point that this is not Jim Dillon's budget. This is Borough Council's budget. And Mr. Dillon's job is to develop a budget that he believes meets the expectations of council. And it is council's job to ensure that this budget, that they do their due diligence and make sure that this budget actually is the best management of tax dollars. This is the Borough Council's responsibility. It has no reflection on Jim Dillon's integrity or competence. That's not what this is about at all. So please make sure that this is not about Jim Dillon. I would just like to point out that a couple of quick questions. You talked about balanced budgets. in the revenue, there is a $500,000 state grant, but there's nothing going out. My understanding that we learned in the meeting is that this grant has not been secured. We don't know if we're going to get it. So what I don't understand is if we say we have 500,000 going into the general fund, there is no expenditure for it going out, and this is for a very specific purpose. It can't, so just having it floating like we have $500,000 in there, I'm not sure how that gets balanced. My other question is the truck fines. All of the truck fines are going into the general fund. I'm wondering why some of that budget, why some of that is not divided amongst police and the borough. And so what I worry about is that we don't actually know what's in the general fund or how far it will take us. There was also a mention by Mr. Dillon at the meeting that there is, and he just mentioned it again, there's a significant amount of money in our checking account that's also not reflected in this budget. So we don't know how much money we actually have. Like again, the $500,000 revenue coming in is not guaranteed and can only be used for one very thing, one thing. So it has to be, should be reflected on the expenditures. It is not reflected on the expenditures. The other question the other point that I just wanted to make is that we just have to have an honest conversation about what it takes to run this borough for public works, to run the borough safely and maintain our infrastructure. And we just want to make sure that we are looking at the big pictures. The issues about the police department are not about negotiations. They're about the larger, how can we look forward? By ensuring we're not suggesting we can get into the specifics of what we want. In order to open this up, we'd have to meet again to talk about the exact specific items, or we could do it now. But one way or the other, what we would like to do is to address that issue about how much is left in our checking account that's not reflected in this budget, the $500,000 that is showing as revenue that's not real revenue, and then some of the other issues that I believe we wanted to bring up, and we should be able, each council member should be able to offer their comments on them.
And may I make a clarification just from something that I've heard that I don't want people to misunderstand?
We have to be recognized when we pay. That's the Robert's Rules of Order.
May I be recognized? Madam President?
Go ahead and make it quick, please.
Yes, we are not raising taxes. What we are saying is that we're cutting, the budget cuts 10 mills. That's $600,000. We are suggesting a more gradual reduction and responsible reduction next year and then in the years to come, at least to ensure that we have enough money to pay our debt and to negotiate fairly with our police this coming year.
Okay, thank you. Virginia, roll call.
Yes.
No.
Marie Kelso?
No.
Diane Lange?
No.
Jenna Langer?
Yes.
Sean Reddy?
Yes.
Scott Robbins?
No.
Peggy Walsh?
Yes.
We currently have a 4-4 tie. Mr. Mayor, same comment. You can choose to break the tie now or request a meeting later.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I am going to break it down, but Mr. Dillon did say at next meeting he will bring those figures for you. I also looked over the budget and I see no reason to reopen it. So my vote is for no.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Scott, would you read the next motion?
I call for a motion to renew the 2026 service agreement with Tom Josiah Consulting, LLC, to assist with borough accounting at a rate of $135 per hour.
Diane, would you second?
I second it.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Anything from the public? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes 8-0. Sean, would you read the next motion?
I call for a motion to approve the application for payment number 2 for the Borough Police Sallyport Construction Project in the amount of $33,222.96 to RNS General Contractors, Inc., as recommended by the Borough Engineer.
Anna, would you second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Anything from the public? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes 8-0. Okay, so now we have the 3 added motions. E, which is motion to post and advertise the position of part-time head librarian for the Morrisville Free Library. Sean, would you make the motion?
Do I need to reread it since you just read it, or just I'm making the first?
Would you make the motion?
Sure. Motion to post and advertise the position of part-time head librarian for the Morrisville Free Library.
I'd like to second.
Anna, would you say, oh, Diane, would you second?
A second.
Diane, second. Okay, as I said, Mr. Dillon decides that is in our borough code. We would be going against our borough code and ordinance if we ensure that this happens, because that would be, that's correct, right? It's your decision?
That's my understanding.
Yes, that under your borough code passed by ordinance, you afforded all powers for hiring and firing employees to the borough manager. Borough code specifically says council has no involvement unless it's a civil service position or his own position. Civil service meaning police, which you have, and in some jurisdictions there's also fire employees would fall under that. But borough code, all administrative employees are hired and determined by positions are determined by the manager.
And also in the budget meeting that we did have last week, Mr. Dillon did talk about the library, and he did ask for 3 months. So I'm unclear why this came up, because he said that he just needed 3 months. Should I tell them what we're doing about the?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean,
Okay,
we're looking at trying to get a study.
So a part of what Mr. Dillon explained at the last meeting, and this is for everyone in the public, is that we had a meeting with the county, and we asked for if the Bucks County would help us with some of the funding for the library. Of course, they said no, understandably, but we asked them for what else they could help us with. So they started talking about various scenarios and what we could do, which we should do, and obviously we're not the experts in that. And so then we asked them, do they have someone who is an expert? And so then they said, yes, we can recommend some people, and they would come in and do a study which would tell us what the library should be, whether we should have a part-time librarian, whether it should be all children's program, whether or not. But they would look at our library, they would look at our demographics, and they would make recommendations to this council so that we could make some informed decisions. At that point, he did ask for 3 months in order to get this done. So that's about it, right?
I think that's a fair summary. Yes.
Okay, all right. So any other council discussion?
I would like to say something. Respectfully, we've been without a head librarian for about 1.5 years. The part-time staff has done a remarkable job keeping the library functioning, and they're really not trained or paid to do the job of the head librarian. If we post the proper job description, we will get applicants who can write grants, coordinate with Bucks County Community Library, organize staff, purchase new books, cull old materials, write the end of the year report, and get our children's program back to full speed. I can't understand why we have to hire a consultant instead of a librarian when it has been vacant for about 1.5 years. Plus, we've been down another librarian, the children's librarian, for about 3/4 of a year. And we have a part-time staff who has kept that library together. And I think they need a professional who knows what they're doing to be able to direct them and get our library back up and running. And you know me, I'm especially interested in the children's programs.
Isn't that what you're trying to do, Mr. Dillon, with the county?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question. I also agree with Peggy that this has just been dragging along. And I have a question then. If this body wanted to hire a librarian now, let's say everybody here right now felt that way, what is that, if Borough Code does not allow us to direct Mr. Dillon to advertise for that position, is that what you're saying?
Correct. If everyone wanted to hear, if everyone wanted to hear and he didn't have a plan, there would be different discussions. But right now, and I can't get into what those could be because there implies some employment concerns. But as of right now, you take this vote, it means nothing because he is the entire authority to hire, terminate. There's no, this position could be posted, even if this position is posted, it means nothing.
Right, because then we would have to hire.
The manager would have to hire.
Yes, the manager would have to hire. That's my whole point is what are you saying that if this body did, let's say we all agreed that we wanted a librarian, what would be the process that we would use?
Well, I feel like if this whole body was in agreement, there's a different discussion, but until you take the vote. Well, if the whole body was in agreement on something and an employee wasn't following sort of the way they want to go, it's a policy consideration, and that was the way you would go. But without lack of a better word, it would require considering firing the manager.
Well, we've had in the past where, for example, several years ago, where a borough manager was hired, and
that's the borough manager position, yes.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's what you're saying. So you're saying that so we just have to have conversations with Mr. Dillon saying, gee, we really think it's time to have a librarian. And he's saying, I'd rather do it through a consultant. Our point is that just dragging this out more and more. And meanwhile, our library is going, and so I can beg Mr. Dillon right now, I guess, to say, please consider doing this because we're seeing a degradation, a neglect of the library, the people in the library, we're overworking the part-time staff. We want a library. We have taxes that we dedicate to it. So we please encourage you to at least start the process. We could have gotten a consultant 6 months ago. So we're just dragging this and dragging this. Please, we would like to make sure that our library is a fully functioning and a live program. Thank you.
I think that's part of the study is to figure out how to make the library a fully functioning program and what it should be, not one person's opinion or two people's opinions or three people's opinions. And just because it's always been that way, Mr. Dillon is trying to figure out what it could be, not what it has been. So anything from the public?
I'm sorry, I had a comment as well.
Anything from the public? Connie.
First of all, I'm going to ask all of you who are not using your microphone, please use it. I'm in the front row and I still am having trouble hearing. Secondly, I came for the main purpose of urging you to hire a new librarian. Now, I understand that there are decisions that need to be made, but I really question whether we need a study just to hire an individual to fill a really huge gap in the staffing.
Connie, I just want to clear, it's not just to hire the individual, but to assess what the needs are so that we could hire the right individual and have the right tools for that original.
Well, we have a library board that I used to be a part of that can give you a pretty good response on what needs to be done in the library and who has been doing, I think, a very good job. And I know from experience, I ran both public and school libraries for 35 years. But I asked that you consider moving quickly. I'm not questioning your authority to hire, and it might take a long time to find someone appropriate because it's not going to be a full-time job, I don't think, because of finances. And I don't know what the availability of qualified librarians is right now. That's number one, and I hope you'll consider it. Number two, and you could be advertising and collecting resumes if they come in to hold for 3 months, and even that would be a help. Secondly, I came to talk about the budget, but I don't think I'm going to do it this time. This discussion has been very interesting to me, and I'm sorry that the vote went against opening the budget because I learned a lot.
We're just talking about the library right now.
Okay. Then thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Don?
This issue goes back to what I was talking about in my previous comment. You made a motion during the meeting to address a topic that is of concern to the borough. At this point, only the members of Morrisville Borough that are here are available to make comment because they didn't know it was coming. I think you need to table this motion until the next meeting when people who may be interested that are not here can make a public comment. This would be in violation of the Sunshine Act if you voted on it tonight and dispensed with the motion.
It would not be a violation of the Sunshine Act. That was recently decided by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court that you can, by vote, add stuff to the agenda. There are 3 criteria, and then there's the catch-all where you take the vote as you did, stated your reasons for it, and then can be voted on.
It would be a violation of the Sunshine Act. Maybe it wouldn't be a legal violation. The Sunshine Act is intended to provide the public, to provide us with representation. We can't be represented if we don't even know what you're talking about. You came in with a motion to talk about the library. There's people here that are concerned about the library. And I bet there's a whole lot more out there that want to make a comment on this issue. And you're not allowing it. That says something about council if you're willing to ignore the public.
It's just for the record, I'm fine with tabling all of these motions.
Okay.
May I make a remark?
Go ahead,
Suggestion?
Sean.
Thank you. We understand that this position is obviously exclusive to the hiring capacity of the borough manager. So I guess the better of worded this was meant to be for imploring Mr. Dillon to post and hire for the head librarian position. Now, taking a look at what our needs and standards are, I know we have a study coming, and I appreciate that information is coming. However, we have a need now. A part-time librarian would fill the need that we have now, help out with who we have. We can hire under the criteria which we currently have. If, after the evaluation, we have one of 2 likely outcome recommendations, either moving on to the full-time if they decide that we want to keep this under the new standards in another year or so when those regulations come in, or if we end up reducing the library and say like getting rid of our like state funding and such, which I know is a consideration, we would move down to more of a part-time role. I think hiring currently a part-time librarian could help us in both roles. So if we end up getting advised to stay open doing a full-time librarian, hopefully we have a candidate who we hire that could qualify for those standards. If not, we can hire them on the condition that that person would roll over to our children's library position, which doesn't have as high standards for it, and allow us to maintain that employee while they're building this relationship as we go. And that way, we have the capacity to hire somebody that meets the new needs if we get that recommendation. And somebody who's getting familiar and helping with the library now. And if the results come back that say that we need to, or we take the action of reducing the library hours and staffing, we're going to move to a part-time librarian anyway, which means we're not going to be required to hit those state needs from the discussions we've had before. And that person was already in that position to maintain and continue that role. So I think either or, because I know both are an option, and I'm not saying no to either option, but it's a way we can help this need now and help to fill that vacancy and have somebody that can roll into whichever direction we end up going with the library, where it won't be a lost or wasted employee.
Virginia, roll call.
Yes.
Ellen Long.
No.
Marie Kelso.
No.
Diane Lanigan.
No.
Anna Leonard.
Yes.
Sean Radley.
Yes.
Scott Robbins.
No on the advice of the solicitor.
Peggy Walsh.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Good evening. So the borough is a business as well, and we have to make smart business decisions. I fully support Mr. Dillon and what he's doing, so my vote is no.
Thank you.
Motion fails. Motion, and Mr. Dillon did whisper to me that hopefully in the next month or two, right? Yes, maybe the study will be in. I understand everybody's concern, but this is a bigger picture than just having, just hiring a librarian, and maybe we'll fire them, maybe we won't. So hopefully everybody just has some patience and gives Mr. Dillon the 3 months that he asked for. Scott, next motion. Oh, you don't have it. Hold on. Motion to establish a consistent procedure for notification of expiring committee terms and sufficient time for residents to submit letters of interest.
I'd like to make the motion.
Scott, would you second the motion? If you don't want to, I'll move on.
I mean, I can second it, but I have no idea what it means. Didn't we already talk about this?
I'm the first. I made the motion.
The solicitor explained it earlier, right?
Well, we don't really know what the procedure that they want. They just want a procedure. There's nothing to the motion. It's just a motion to have a consistent procedure. So we currently have a consistent procedure in that we have put on the expiration dates on the website, and anyone interested, it's on the agenda, and anyone interested should send in a letter of interest.
I'd like to make a comment, please.
I'm sorry,
So,
Scott.
to explain. All we're,
Scott.
So,
explain it.
In the last vote we just had, I was being asked to vote yes or no for something that our solicitor explicitly stated that that's like an opening the floodgates, because from now on we can just vote on stuff that the borough code or the borough ordinance be damned, right? It says there like can't, but we can vote anyway if we want to. We can break the rules. We can do it if we want to. To this one here, that I mean, like, I guess I seconded it just because I want to get out of here tonight. For full disclosure, I honestly have no idea what I just seconded, so hopefully someone can enlighten me with discussion. So let's go. Debbie, your turn.
Okay, thank you. All we want to do is have a conversation. We could amend this to something very specific, but without putting something on the table to talk about. What we'd like to see is the opportunity for everybody. I know that you say that's on the website. However, on the website, you have to go to the board, then you have to go in, you have to look at all the terms. In the past, on the bottom, just like Scott, you pointed out earlier, that on the bottom of this, it will say these openings, okay? However, in November, there was nothing that indicated you were going to be appointing for Planning Commission or EDC or I can't remember the other one. So nothing in November. There should have been something on this like we did with library and EAC that's been there every month when it came up. It was showing that it was going to be there. So people had the opportunity from this agenda to realize, hey, I can come in here and I can put in rather than having to dive through that website to figure it out. In addition, the example I gave for one of your appointments was, how would somebody know that you were changing the term of that appointment when the term said expiring March 1, 2026, how would they know you already appointed to that in December? So we're just asking for an ability for everybody here, because no one in December, the general public did not know that those March and January appointments were coming up in December. We're just asking for the opportunity, and however, if we need to table this and reword it, we can do that. But the point is that we would like to make a consistent, and if there is a policy or procedure, if you could please provide it to us. So that's all that this is
So if this is all it's about, is to have a conversation, if you look on the agenda on item 5, it says council discussion items. These things should have been brought up there instead of going through all these motions and taking a vote and doing what we're doing and just wasting time. And secondly, we don't get involved in the operations of the borough, and however Sue and Virginia handle this, we shouldn't be telling them how to do their jobs. They have established a procedure. They worked with the website designer. They put the expiration dates. They have added, and it's Mr. Dillon's agenda, so it's also under Mr. Dillon to have this agenda, where he works with Virginia. Correct, Virginia? Sorry that you took a drink. But, you know, we can't just sit here and say we don't like this. Like what are we going to do next? Like, oh, I don't like how payroll is done, and so let's make a motion to change how payroll is done. This is like kind of out of the realm of what council should be doing. But let's take a vote.
Yeah, this is
Virginia,
actually council's responsibility and council appointments.
Anybody from the public? No? Okay.
Be able to make one more comment into this, Madam President?
Go ahead.
I guess we'll go more straightforward with this. Can we make this if it has to amend the motion for it, maybe so be it, but make it to a consistency that we are, before opening and voting on board openings, that we make sure to procedurally always advertise those openings at minimum a month prior in public agenda. Would that be something more reasonable?
That is up to Virginia and Mr. Dillon. That's their agenda. And if you look at Borough Code, Borough Code states that it is their agenda.
I know, but Assembly has impact on the agenda as well.
Virginia, could you do roll call?
Yes.
No.
No.
No. Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
So hot.
Good evening again. No.
Okay, I make the motion to move public comment period on non-agenda items to the beginning of the meeting after special presentations at all borough council meetings. Scott, would you second?
I'll second.
Once again, this is a motion that is really not up to council. This is a prerogative of the borough manager and the council president. So I'm not sure why there's a vote. Scott, why is there a vote to do this?
It was something they asked to be put on the agenda. They amended it properly, but I mean, again, you would need something amending your ordinances, putting together a full policy. I mean, it's an idea, but you know, other places when they have an agenda and what they said, it's either decided by the manager, but the council president, board of supervisors chair, or they have a specific written policy similar, not using the Roberts Rules of Order, I can use that as the example, but a similar written policy where they specifically define everything. And
so
that's why it wasn't included.
this is a business meeting, and the whole point is to get business done. And we do ask for the public's opinion on all business items, and it's only non-agenda items that are at the end of the agenda. So anybody from council?
Yes, I have my question is, you said that's the prerogative of borough manager and council president. Can you please show us in borough code where it's the borough council prerogative? I mean, borough president prerogative.
Madam President.
She wants to see,
I'm sorry, no, I just didn't hear you.
she wants to see where.
I can say it. We're in Borough Code. It was just stated that this is the Borough Council, Council President's prerogative to do, manager and the Council President make this decision. Could you please tell me where in Borough Code it says that this is the Council President's, so where is it written?
I don't have the section number, but what it says is the borough manager puts together.
Correct. It doesn't say the council president.
Correct.
Correct. Thank you.
But if he's going to work with the council president, like has been does in every other jurisdiction, that's what happens.
Okay, but this is but it's ultimately it is the borough manager's decision. Correct.
And if he chooses to take the input of the council president, yes.
If he wants to, if he would like to do that change, he could do so. Correct.
He could. Yes.
Thank you.
Anybody from the public? Oh, go ahead, Scott.
Lee Taylor, Hamilton. Just a clarification. I think the reason this is being asked is because for years, the public comment when we came was always at the beginning of the meeting, and people were able to make comments there. Sometime in the last year or so, it got changed to the very tail end of the meeting, so people who wanted to say anything had to wait till 9 o'clock to say anything. So I think that was the question. Why was it moved from the beginning of the meeting to the end of the meeting, and is it possible to get it back to the beginning of the meeting? That was
I can answer that because Helen said this is a business meeting and we're here to conduct business. And just because that's the way it was always done doesn't mean it was right. Because if you look at the schedule here, the public actually gets to talk before we do. Number 12 is non-agenda public comment. Then the mayor, then the council members get to talk. You said something interesting there. Why do you have to wait to the end of the meeting? I'm not allowed to leave in the middle of the meeting. Why do I have to sit up here all night? I mean, and the comments are all put together right here. And if you want to talk on a specific action item, you can talk on that item when we do the motion. And I went to a Bridge Commission meeting a couple months ago, and I had to wait, like, if I wanted to do public comment, I had to wait like 2.5 hours to do it. And if you watch other municipalities around here, they all do it like we do it. Like you talk on, you speak on each action item, and then at the end, you talk.
I didn't say I wanted to leave. I just was reframing the question. That's what.
Okay, well, that's what I got from the comment. We're not doing any. Okay. This is no different than every other municipality around here.
I say I've reached out and looked at several other municipalities. Bristol Borough puts comment first. Bensalem does comment twice. Falls does it first. Newtown does it twice. New Hope first. Langhorne twice. Yardley first. Middletown twice. Lower Makefield first. It is very routine to put this option so that way people can have the opportunity to go out or get their information or questions and considerations out there. Even if it's twice to make it easier, like some agenda items on beginning or non-agenda at the beginning and agenda items at the end for people to allow it. But that allows our citizens to be able to get out if they would like to without having to remain the entirety of it. But also if they bring up a discussion or point, say that we or as a council go, oh, you know what, that's kind of a good point. Maybe we should address or handle that now. It's coming after all of our new business, which would typically be we can't take any action ourselves if it was something that we thought was actionable at this moment.
That's because it's non-agenda items and we're not taking any actions on it. And if every action item that is read, I am asking the public for their input as it's happening before we take our vote. Virginia, roll call.
One more thing, please. I'd just like to point out that the Bridge Commission is a very different entity. If you look at the Morrisville organization chart, the very top square is residents. So remember that we are working, our residents deserve our respect and our attention first. We're only asking that non-agenda items so that somebody that wants to come in and say, hey, can we get a crosswalk painted, doesn't have to wait till 9 o'clock. It's just courtesy to hear what they have to say. And it's also something that you don't really know. It might very well affect your vote. There was a council member up here last year that said, I wish I had heard what you said. I would have changed my vote. He said that up here. So just to let you know.
Okay, if you want a crosswalk painted, you put it in trays or with John later, like any day of the month, instead of waiting for the council meeting?
Something simple is all I'm saying. If somebody just wants to ask a question, they should be able just to ask that question and go home.
On.
He's right. Until you became council president, all the comments were at the beginning of the meeting. And a big reason for doing that is you could make a comment and go home. Maybe I have something else to do besides be here. I'm not elected to be here. I'm be here because I'm trying to be a good citizen. And you also keep your comments to 3 minutes. That's the minimum required. You have to do at least 3 minutes. The impression I get from the way public comment is conducted in this borough is you're discouraging borough comment. You make us wait until 9:30 tonight to make our comments. And we deserve better than that. We deserve to be heard, not to be put off to the end because you got business to do. Your business is me. You're here to represent me. She's my representative. So please consider us when you're doing this, because this isn't about you. It's about me.
So Don, you've spoken like 3 times, which is about 9 minutes tonight, maybe even 4.
3 minutes at a time, but
Well,
I was allowed 9.
You were allowed 9 minutes. Everybody has an opportunity to speak to every agenda item and voice their opinion.
It is for me to sit here and to listen to all this and see 4, 5, 4, 5. I don't want to. I want to make my comment. If I have something to say about a agenda item, I
Sometimes it's
appreciate
mutual
what you do.
because we have to.
I think it's
we
great.
have to listen up
But
here
for the
too.
non-public comment, it's mine. I get to talk right now, not you. And I shouldn't have to wait here until this time to tell you what I'm thinking about. You should hear it at the beginning of the meeting.
Virginia, roll call. Sure, go ahead. State your name and address.
Whew. My name's Asher Roth. I live on Stockham Avenue. I just moved here in February. I'm from here, actually. I grew up. I played Little League here. My brother back there was showing me MR Ryder. I went to MR Ryder. Fantastic. I just want to say quickly, what it feels like in listening to all of this is a lot of the responsibility is doled to Mr. Dillon. From my understanding, you don't live here. And so I just encourage everybody, maybe they should get together on February 15th, before February 15th, and discuss the budget, because it would be a great bonding experience for all of you guys to understand where everybody's coming from. It's crazy back here. It feels super disjointed. Nice. Andrew, I met you the other day. No, Dennis, I met you the other day when you came up on my porch with the dog that was lost, and you went and you got your leash. It was really nice to meet you. And we spoke briefly about your decorations. These are the types of things we need to do to actually get a community going. It doesn't feel like you guys are trying to work together at all. So I would just say, Mr. Dillon, respectfully, I have no idea what a borough manager does. It sounds like everything that Helen has said, Scott, yourself included, solicitor, has been leaning to you two. So I really hope that you guys can get together for whatever exercise you decide to do, play a game, go bowling, Morrisville Lanes, get on the same page and let's start working towards a shared vision for Morrisville. I'm a young family. Why would anybody move here? Honestly, the pool's not here anymore. Like, why would I keep my 2.5-year-old daughter here when the library is breaking down? We go there every Wednesday to hang out. Do we actually have a vision for Morrisville moving forward? It's 2026. It's unique. It's complex. It's right here on the river. It's small. It's right next to Trenton. We have a relationship with Trenton. We have to acknowledge that. And let's work together on something, some vision, because I can't do this. I'm missing my daughter's bedtime right now to say this. So I'm going to be watching, you know what I mean? And I'm sure you guys will. So thank you. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Asher.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. Gotta stay tough.
I'm sorry, I got out of order. Sorry. Deborah Colvin?
Where are we? Yes.
No.
Marie Thompson? No. Diane Lemon?
No.
Elaine?
Yes.
Sean Ray?
Yes.
Scott Robinson?
No.
Yes.
I don't know, I hate being this, but this has come up actually before last year, and I explained myself actually to Debbie Colgan about this. I also had a little bit of concerns when it first came out, but I actually kind of like it now. I got used to it, to where that each resident can actually talk on all these action items. There's many different opportunities that they can talk at. I know you have to wait till the end to do non-agenda items, but you have the floor. This is your meeting, so no.
Thank you, Virginia. Last one, I make the motion to establish a committee to search for a borough manager. 3, would you second that motion?
Second, no. Do I have to?
No, you don't have to. Diane?
No.
No, I don't second it.
I don't second it.
I second it.
Okay, Peggy seconds the motion. Okay, we just appointed the borough manager at January 5th. He didn't resign. It's not going anywhere. I'm not quite sure how this works or why this is here. And we don't establish a committee. All 8 people get together and discuss, yes, let's hire a borough manager, and yes, this is what we need, and yes, this is what's going to happen. So.
May I comment?
I'm still talking.
May I comment? Okay, when you finish.
I want to also let the council know, you can't speak until you have the floor, and you have to wait for people to stop speaking. And the council president can stop.
I apologize. I thought you were finished.
I'm disappointed to see this because Mr. Dillon is doing a great job, and he did at the last, when we had the budget meetings, he did tell all the council that behind the scenes he is helping us search for a borough manager. So the fact that his expertise, and he explained his expertise, he explained all the borough managers that he had hired throughout Bucks County. And it's just, you know, the gentleman who left, who just spoke, Mr. Asher, he said work together. You all said that you wanted to work together, but it doesn't feel like you want to work together. It just seems like you're pushing nonsense instead of having a vision and having a vision of what Morrisville should be and could be. These things that you're doing isn't really giving us a vision. So anybody have any comment?
I do.
Peggy, go ahead, Peggy.
Well, I know that we're being accused of not working together, but it certainly feels to me that nobody is working together with us. And I don't think you said the silly things. I don't think that wanting a librarian for our library, wanting our own borough manager, Mr. Dillon was elected as our interim manager. That's what it says on his contract, even though the vote did not stipulate that. But his contract says interim borough manager. He's been with us for quite a while now. I like Mr. Dillon. I've met with Mr. Dillon several times. I've been over to Bristol to see what he's done in Bristol. But he is Bristol's full-time borough manager. I do think it's time for us to begin seriously to search for a borough manager for our borough. And I don't think wanting to move public comment to the front to be respectful of our citizens and to hear what they have to say because it may impact our vote is silly. So, you know, it goes both ways. We would be happy to work with you if you felt you were hearing us at all, but we don't feel that what we're asking for is silly. And I still don't think that being concerned about the budget, we sat for 3.5 hours with Mr. Dillon to go over this budget line by line, and we came away with the same concerns we had going in, and we expressed them tonight to the best of our ability. But because we are concerned, then we are voted down.
Excuse me, if Peggy's done, I have something to say.
Go ahead, Marie.
I'm repeating myself. Okay, why don't you all just finish your training and come back. There's so much that you all do not know.
We are.
She has the floor, Peggy.
Listen, I don't want a back and forth thing. Let's just get the basics down. Let's go for our training. That's all that I have to say. And every time I said no tonight, I had a good reason. And this is the fourth time I'm bringing up Mr. Dillon. That he is, we're to be thanking God we have him, and there is no one vying for this position anywhere. So please come to us with some facts, but before you come to us with some facts, please get the training over with. That's all that I'm pleading with all of you.
Marie, we're signed up for the training.
And I'm finished. That's all that I have to say. I'm not going back and forth. I'm finished. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dillon, and thank you, Helen, and thank you, Mayor, for all that you do and continue to do.
Mr. Roth, real quick before you leave, you had made a comment before about the borough manager not living in Morrisville. We had a requirement here that the borough manager, it was required to be a resident of the borough. And that rule was kicked to the curb back in 2013. I'm just going to say that it was, and it was a political move and a political stunt. That's all I'm going to say. Used to be a requirement.
Is it important to you?
It is, because it was important back then. I was right there. I wasn't on council, and I said the borough manager should be required to live in Morrisville. But that one sailed away under the bridge.
Morrisville's not that big. It's small enough to work.
I know.
It's small
I know it
enough
is.
to work. Mr. Dillon, all due respect, the things that I don't truly passionately live.
I'm sorry, Mr.
I was just.
I know you were. I know you
I
were.
can talk to you outside of council.
Exactly. Thank you for coming
Of
tonight.
course, I want you guys. I want Morrisville to win so bad. I'm
do I.
from here. I want Morrisville to win so bad. I believe in it so much, and I can only sit back here and listen to while other stuff is going on, and for so long.
Okay.
But I'm rooting for you guys so hard. If you need anything, just say, what can we do? I'll at least bring some passion to the conversation. That's it.
Okay. Now back to the what we're voting on right now. I don't see the reason to vote for advertising for a borough manager when we don't have an opening for a borough manager. But if that's what we're going to do up here, then I guess we need to
Okay,
do a roll
Virginia, roll call.
Hey, may I say something real quick,
Sure,
Madam President?
Diane.
I would just like to let the audience know that I've lived in a couple towns where they've lost borough managers. They are few and far between, very few. It takes a very, very talented person to do that job. And we have Mr. Dillon, who's trying to help us make this borough better so that we might be able to attract somebody that will do a really good job for us. And I think we need to take that into consideration. We don't want to rush into something and wind up with somebody that we're going to get rid of in a year, and then we're back in the same spot. It's like school superintendents. You get a bad one and everything falls apart. Trust me, I know.
I'd like to make one quick statement. You just now said my point exactly. It is very difficult. This is nothing against Mr. Dillon. We appreciate all the work that he's done. He's been extremely helpful. This is because it does take a long time. We're not asking to advertise, Scott. We're asking to form a committee, which was done previously. It will take months and months. Mr. Dillon has already told us he's doing two full-time jobs. That's really difficult. That's a lot to ask of someone. This is no reflection on Mr. Dillon. We are grateful, yes. And together, we can all work if we listen to our residents, and that's what we are trying to do, is bring our citizens, our resident voices up here, because this is what we're hearing. And clearly, this is what the voters of Morrisville have asked for. Thank you.
Virginia, roll call.
Yes.
No.
No.
No. Yes.
For a committee to explore the idea and options, yes.
No.
Yes, for the committee to explore options.
I would like to just say is I would love to work with everyone, and I know it does seem like that, and I'm going to break a lot of ties, it seems like, in the next 2 years. I must have missed this email and wasn't on copy that they wanted this on the agenda, but no thank you. I like Mr. Dillon and what he's doing here.
And I appreciate everyone's concern for Mr. Dillon, that he's doing two full-time jobs, but Mr. Dillon, I know you don't want to do this forever, but you haven't said like this is too much, have you?
Not yet.
Not yet. Maybe after this meeting. Non-agenda, Eileen Grossman Bailey. Gone. Rebecca Guzman. Do you have a non-agenda item to discuss? No? Okay. Christopher Zawodniak. Hi, Chris.
Good evening. Chris Zawodniak, Chambers Street, Morrisville, Pennsylvania. Borough officials, in honor of America's 250th anniversary this year, our nation's semi-quincentennial, we have emailed all of you a draft resolution to consider proclaiming America 250 for Morrisville Borough. Historic Morrisville Society has several activities planned this year in honor of this anniversary. We'll be having a kickoff to the semi-quincentennial on January 31st, 2 p.m., 130 Legion Avenue at Summer Seat here in Morrisville. We're extending an invitation to each of you to attend the kickoff celebration at Summer Seat. We encourage the borough to join these festivities and assist us at Historic Morrisville Society to observe the nation's 250th anniversary, because Morrisville, which used to be Colvin's Ferry or the Lower Ferry, and Summer Seat was pivotal to the creation of our nation's independence. In 1776, it is here that, in this place, that our nation's history was made, as it was the decision by General George Washington to cross the Delaware and take Trenton. Our nonprofit organization is a member of America 250, Pennsylvania 250, and the Bucks 250 commissions. The 250th group's mission is to involve every community and every person in the 250th celebration and activities. And we as Summer Seat are involved. We have a plan that will work well with Patriots Park. We request your assistance and your approval to use Patriots Park in the celebration here in 2026 to make the events even larger and greater, and to observe and implement the 250th directive established by Congress. The first event we have planned is Memorial Day weekend on May 23rd and 25th. We'll have speakers that Saturday and Sunday. On Memorial Day, following the parade by the fire department, we'll be offering an event with food to the whole community at Summer Seat. A second consideration, we ask you to assist us in providing community events on Patriots Day the following week, and to use Patriots Park to host a Revolutionary War encampment, and also to join us by adding more community activities the weekend of May 29th to 31st on the property. We would like to have reenactors, food trucks, a portable potty, and have various tables to educate regarding colonial trade and children's activities. We're looking for more manpower and borough assistance to make this event even larger. Third event we're looking for is the 4th of July birthday party, which is the actual 250th anniversary of the United States of America, and we'll hold at Summer Seat. We're planning to have popcorn, cotton candy, and maybe a wagon and bicycle parade in red, white, and blue at Patriots Park. It'd be helpful to the community to have tables, booths, and interesting activities be spearheaded by the borough and facilitate use of Patriots Park on the 4th of July community event. There'll be more events later in the year, particularly in December, when General George Washington made Summer Seat his Army headquarters before he crossed the river at Washington's Crossing and attacked Trenton. We request you consider and assist us in these events to observe the 250th anniversary of our nation and work with us to encourage the local community to come out to Summer Seat and Patriots Park with its historical significance on this historic occasion of the 250th anniversary of our nation. Thank you.
Chris, so you put in a lot of dates here.
A lot of dates, yeah.
Can you come into the borough or have someone from Summer Seat come into the borough and either ask for Sue or Lorraine? And there's an event form to fill out.
Absolutely.
And then you would write down all your asks, and then that gets transferred to the agenda.
That would be great. We
Okay.
appreciate that very much.
So you have, I think I wrote down 3 dates that
Yes.
you have. So if you would fill out 3 separate event forms.
We'll get all those event forms.
Okay, and plus what your asks are.
Yes.
And then you had mentioned in the beginning a date that you invited all of council for. What was that date and
Yes,
time?
thank you for asking. It's January 31st at 2 p.m.
January 31st at 2 p.m.
Yes.
And the public is invited.
Yes, the public's invited. It's a kickoff for the whole borough.
So
And
if-
everything we're trying to do is for the entire public.
Okay, so if you have a flyer, if you could email it to Sue, it will get posted on the borough website.
Yeah, we have that
Okay.
plan made. We will do that. Very
Okay.
much so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody at council.
Good luck with all of
I
this.
appreciate it, and thanks. We're looking forward to seeing you all this upcoming year. It's going to be a busy one.
I'll see you on January 31st.
Thanks.
Thank you. Margaret Zawodniak?
Hi, I'm Chris's wife. I'm on the board at Summer Seat 2, and I'd like to thank Helen and the borough manager, Mr. Dillon, and our wonderful mayor for coming out before. We had such an enjoyable time when you came out to Summer Seat. And we are doing things this whole year. Some of them don't cost much, and some of them cost more. And I was reminded, I should tell you, we did get some funding from the Bucks County Tourism. You want me to tell me how much? You want me to tell you how much? Okay. And we also got another mini grant, so to help this a little more festive, and from the Bucks 250th.
Oh, great.
So, yeah. And
congratulations.
We were the very top ones as far as what we put together to have, you know, an agenda for this year. So we're looking forward to this year. We're trying to get everyone involved. As a matter of fact, we've got the school involved in an essay and a poster contest too, and they're looking forward to that. So just want to tell you thank you. I want to encourage everyone to celebrate the semi-quincentennial, the 250th anniversary in the United States, and do so as a member of our community. And to let you know that I'm a new DAR member, and so I qualify by my pedigree to even say, yes, let's do this. And and we're putting up a new website. It's on that flyer, and just for events for this year.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you. You know, I wanted to tell you two things. I don't know if Summersea can do anything about it, but I went to Falls Day, Harvest Day in the fall, and they were claiming that Fallsington was going to be the second, like just lost being the capital to Washington, D.C. And I didn't want to embarrass the man by saying it was Morrisville.
It wasn't
But maybe you want to call the Fallsington Historic Society and tell them to stop saying that.
Yes, ma'am.
And then the second thing was I was on Facebook, and there's someplace up north, not Washington's Crossing, but I forget the town. I'll look for it. But they are saying that the planning of the crossing of the Delaware into Trenton and beating the Hessians was planned in their town and not Morrisville.
I read that, but I've read lots of articles because I looked that up. I said, well, are we telling the truth or not? And no, it looks like it was here. It was here he ordered all the boats over to the Pennsylvania side and for them to hide everything, and it started here, right here.
Right here. We have to figure out how to market that better because these people are now claiming stuff.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
We're working on it.
I know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming and speaking, and thanks for what you do over there. We appreciate it, opening it up and getting it out for the community. So we're super excited for this year. Good luck with it, and we're here to help out.
And, you know, we got the resolution. Maybe you can change it or tweak it or do whatever, but just to say we like it. You know.
Yeah, so I would email it over, to the borough manager, council. I think you said you already did that, and then we'll look at it.
And sorry because I'm just now learning the Google, so we made some mistakes. Sorry.
We'll call you if we have questions. Linda Meyer.
Just real quickly, I wanted to say thank you very much for adding me to the library board. I have a boatload of reading that Eileen sent over to me, and there is a training class that I'm signed up to take. I'm looking forward to the first meeting of the year in February. I did want to let you know that one of the part-time library employees took the initiative to apply for and receive a grant for a summer program for early childhood and early readers called Play and Grow, which will be held at the Morrisville Library this summer. And she does have experience with grants and is willing to look for and apply for other grants, but may need some assistance from the borough with budget information and statistics that are needed for some of the grants. And if you really want to speed up the meeting, you could probably just have Gary vote.
Mr. Solicitor, is that a good idea? John Rice? No, I know. I'm just kidding.
Well, I was too, actually.
We figured.
Me too.
I was going to pass on this comment, but I just wanted to set a personal record of 4 comments in one meeting. So thank you all for listening to me. I certainly do appreciate it. It's been a long meeting, and I'm looking forward to that motion to adjourn.
We all are. Lee Taylor?
Lee Taylor, 405 Helmsville Boulevard. First, congratulations to the 4 newly elected borough council members. We look forward to the added insights and perspectives you will bring to the Morrisville leadership. Second, I want to inform you, if you're not already aware, that on December 9th, 2025, the Commonwealth Court of Pennsylvania ruled that the Borough of Pottstown's ordinance allowing officials to search rental homes without a warrant based on probable cause is unconstitutional. In its unanimous ruling, Judge Stacy Wallace wrote, "The Borough's Code provisions authorizing administrative warrants for biennial rental inspections on less than individualized probable cause are facially unconstitutional under Article 1, Section 8 of the Pennsylvania Constitution. As a result, I request a total rescindment of Ordinance 1019, now paragraph 400 in Morrisville Code, since such inspections, the basis for that ordinance, have been declared unconstitutional. Note that the borough manager, council president, or code enforcement officer have no ability to enforce any part of this ordinance since it is all related. Please do not turn this into a legal action against Morrisville. Third, since many landlords and tenants paid for these unconstitutional inspections in 2025, but the borough never completed some of those inspections, I'm also requesting that all funds paid for those property inspections which were not inspected by the code enforcement officer be returned to those who paid for them. Fourth, since some tenants and landlords have recently received an email requiring payment by January 31st for 2026 from Jenna on behalf of Michael Italia, Barriossi Company, in accordance with this unconstitutional ordinance and code, I request that a follow-up email be sent withdrawing this requirement, noting especially that you are still trying to have all renters list all minor children living in their homes, a massive government overreach. Fifth, please know the landlords are not against all inspections, but only unconstitutional ones. We continue to urge Borough Council to revise the use and occupancy code to strengthen its requirements in order to ensure that UNO inspections are done whenever required by our current UNO law code. These revisions have been submitted before and are being submitted again today. We request time to present these revisions to the Borough Council in a presentation at the beginning of your next Borough Council meeting. Lastly, you have mocked my support for the Fourth Amendment to our Constitution, even calling my 3-minute monthly presentations to you self-serving pontifications. I've been ridiculed on Facebook by some in this room for my opinions, and you have used private, misleading, and unauthorized pictures in your newsletters to support your unconstitutional ordinance. You were all sworn to uphold the Constitution, and I trust that now that the Commonwealth Court of Pennsylvania has spoken, you will adhere to the ruling. One of you has written that you drive the bus on this issue. But now it's time to put the bus in reverse and obey the courts. Rescind Ordinance 1019 and stop trying to enforce it. And I have my suggestions for the revision on the UNO to make it stronger, which we all feel is very much needed in this community. And I'll give those to you as I leave. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm familiar with the Pottstown case he's talking about. Mr. Taylor is partially correct. What they actually ruled on was the procedure in which Pottstown was operating its rental inspection ordinance. Warminster has the same concerns. We looked at it for them. We looked at it for us. We're not in the same position that Pottstown was. This was based off of not the Fourth Amendment, but actually the Pennsylvania Constitution. 2 different things. In fact, it said it was actually legal, citing other cases, legal under the Fourth Amendment, but the Pennsylvania Constitution allows for stricter protections. Basically, they were improperly getting administrative search warrants and doing it. We do not do that. It's actually something we haven't done and won't be doing, but there are some minor changes that we're looking at potentially, as this case, I would expect, goes to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court as well. So just know the ordinance, it's rental ordinance, the inspection program was unconstitutional. It was the way Pottstown was enforcing it and getting into homes. We're only doing ours with the permission, obviously.
Thank you. Mayor comments.
One more comment, please, from the borough residents. Hi, I'm Mary Hrenda. I'm a resident of Morrisville. I've heard a lot this evening. It's been a really unpleasant meeting. I have heard a lot of veiled insults thrown at the new council members. I would like to point out that, you know, you guys are supposed to work together, which means you're supposed to try to get along with each other. I think this is refreshing that we have all these new council members, because previous council has been very, I think, in my opinion, secretive and not open with our residents. I congratulate you on getting the agenda out more than 24 hours to the minute before this council meeting, which is what you have been doing in the past. Before, that was after you didn't get it out 24 hours before the council meeting, so that people couldn't even look at it and make any intelligent comments on it. I would like you to be more, I have brought this up before, I would like you to be more open and courteous to the residents of Morrisville. We are your bosses. As the borough chart shows, residents are above council. You have to listen to us. That's not optional. And so I would like to see you try to be nicer to our new council members. Don't be so awful to them. I would like to see some civility up there. Yeah, and take their advice about the library. For one thing, the library is very important to the residents of Morrisville. You want to spend money on a study to see what the library should be for this borough. As our previous library board person said before, the library has a board. She's been a librarian for 35 years. We have a library board. They know what the library needs. We don't need a study that's going to cost the borough money. You just don't want the residents to have anything to say. You just want to have a study. The study says, okay, we're going to cut this, and this. We haven't had this head librarian that we haven't had for a year and a half, and a children's librarian that we haven't had for like 9 months.
Thank you.
That's ridiculous.
Thank you.
Okay, see, three minutes. We should have 5 minutes.
Okay, Gary.
All right, good evening, everyone. So when I sat out in that audience, what is it, almost a little over 2 years ago, actually maybe almost 3 now, I kind of seen this up here, and it's what made me want to get involved. So I hope we can get over this little hump. I know it's the beginning part of it, but we truly need to work together. And I'm willing to do it, but it can't just be one-sided. It can't be the other side. It has to come together completely. So as we face these cold temperatures and recent snowfall, I wanted to remind everyone to look out for one another. Let's come together as a community, check in on our neighbors, especially our elderly residents, and ensure sidewalks are cleared for safety. With upcoming storms, please prioritize your safety and avoid parking on emergency routes. I'll share the emergency routes on my page, and then I will also ask the borough to share it on our other page there. So I also wanted to address our new council members. Welcome aboard. As we work together, it's important to understand the complexities of governance. We may not have all the answers, but we are committed to making Morrisville a thriving community. Regarding the budget, we recently reduced taxes by 10 mills to provide relief to our residents. It's been suggested to reopen, and now voted down, thankfully, the budget and increase taxes to concerns about funding and loans. However, our current loans have favorable interest rates, and managing debt responsibly can actually benefit the borough's growth. Our goal is to keep Morrisville affordable while ensuring long-term sustainability. Let's continue to work together, keep an open dialogue, and always keep the best interest of our residents at heart. Together, we can make Morrisville an even better place to live, work, and thrive. Thank you. Please be safe.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council member comments. I'm just going to start. The Easter Egg Committee met, and they're looking for donations of candy. So if anybody, the resident wants to donate even one bag of candy, it's all greatly appreciated. The Easter egg hunt will be April 4th. They do need to fill out an event form, and that'll probably be at the next month's meeting, but I just thought I'd put it out there. They're looking for candy. Virginia, is it all right if they brought it to the borough and put it in a box? Okay. No, just candy.
Individually wrapped.
Yeah, individually wrapped, and it has to fit in an egg. So keep that in mind. Don't buy the big Hershey bars. So you could bring it to Borough Hall, and the staff will give it to the committee. Anyone else on council?
I would like to say something. I would like to just reiterate what the mayor said about the snow. We're supposed to get a considerable amount of snow, and we've gotten a considerable amount of snow. And driving around the borough, it's been 48 hours now since the snow stopped. And people are lucky we are a borough that does not enforce code very much, because there are a lot of sidewalks that still have snow and are covered in little footprints. We're a walking district. Our children walk to school. Your children walk to school. And there are sidewalks that don't even have a shovel width wide cleared. We need to do better. We need to help our neighbors who are older, who can't get out. It takes a couple minutes. I mean, I shoveled snow today, and the sun melted what was on, what was left that I couldn't get up. So let's be a little mindful this weekend and into Monday to try to help people out that really need help.
Thank you, Diana. Anyone else?
Yes. Thank you again, Mr. Mayor, and Diane also for the comments with the snow. I think it's a really important thing as a teacher here. Trust me, that snow shoveling is vitally important. It's not even always just the kids that have to walk it. I remember 2 years ago having a flat in the middle of the cold, couldn't get inflated. I walked and hiked all the way across town just to get the grand view to teach kindergarten that day. So the sidewalk stuff is greatly appreciated, especially, and also with the icing, because I see a lot of places shoveled, and I see that layer of ice after the melting is happening, and I know we're dropping to potentially single digits tomorrow morning, so be aware that tomorrow morning could be very icy for anybody if there is melt throughout the day. I just want to thank everybody for ability to talk and do everything. I know there's a lot of stuff going on up here, and I know there's a lot of new things coming in, and there's always going to be that rough patch at the beginning. We're working hard to try and do what we can to learn and do things on there. Don't go to the presumption that we don't know a thing or two just because we're new. A lot of us have taken time and ideas and training beforehand to get an idea of stuff, but I'm going to fumble. I'm going to make the occasional mistake. It's a learning process with all this. I mean, I got my original training back with Jane Berger back in the day, so she was a great inspiration for all that, so always thanks, Jane. Be patient. We're going to occasionally mess up and stumble, but know deep down we fully are committed to wanting to do what's best for the town. We might have different ideas on how that's going to go about, but the intention and the objective is still the same. Thank you.
May I just give a shout out to our public works, because speaking of the snow, my husband and I walked our dog on the levee today, and I was just amazed at what a great job the public works department had done shoveling all those steps along the levee. There was not an ounce of snow on any of them. It was amazing. And what they've done in terms of keeping our borough streets plowed and easy to drive on, they're doing a fabulous job.
Do we know, are we going to have a snow emergency this weekend where people will be trying to park vehicles off the streets?
So it is something I'm reviewing right now, especially after snow totals. We'll probably know more tomorrow, and then I'll get with Chief and Mr. Dillon and just put that message out like I did last year. Mm-hmm.
Okay, just so anyone who knows that lives in my neighborhood, if you need a place to get extra cars off the street, I have a very long driveway. People are welcome to park in my driveway. It helps me not to shovel as much. It is a dual purpose.
That's a great idea.
It's dual purpose.
Okay.
I'd like to say something. So sorry. I'm very sorry. But everyone, you have to understand that I know that this is a business meeting. I too want to work together, but we really don't have any opportunity to discuss these items. And that's one of the things that's been missing, and what we've been hearing from our public is the idea that we need to understand better. As a business meeting, you don't have time to talk. You don't have time to discuss. Maybe we need to go back to having a special meeting where we would sit down at the table and talk out these items so everybody heard them and the public had the opportunity to come and listen. Because we want to do a business meeting and chop through them. We have to give other opportunities for the public to understand, ask questions, and for everybody to be there. But if we don't talk to each other, and this is our only opportunity, it's going to be a long meeting, because we all need to understand, the public needs to understand. They're asking us these questions. This isn't four people up here saying, this is my idea. I'm only here because I listened to the public requested that I represent them, and that's what I'm trying to do to the best of my ability. This is not about making a long meeting. I'm so sorry we have to do this. It is our first one. There were some additional items that we really did think that was important, even though we don't want to add items at the last minute. But you have to understand that there is no opportunity. We don't have committee meetings. In fact, that's what I'm hoping that you will discuss committees in the next section. And if you're not, I'd like to say something now. But this is our opportunity to talk to each other. When is that opportunity? If this is our only opportunity every month.
There is an item 5, council discussion items. So if there's something that you have that you would like to discuss, that is the time to discuss it.
But if we want to vote on it,
then it waits till the next month.
Well, that's what I'm trying to explain to you. It would be really good if we had committee meetings. We could have committee meetings where people came in and talked. We could have an agenda. They used to call it the agenda meeting, maybe just for a little while, so that we 8 can learn to work together and can understand each other. Because this setting is not getting us anywhere. We're just going to come up to 4-4, and the mayor's going to break the tie.
Well,
So,
Debbie, I have to ask you this question. I wasn't going to, but I'm going to, because it kind of, you want to work with us, but we had as you said, was it a 2.5 hour or 3.5 hour meeting with Mr. Dillon? And you asked the same questions, and then we had an executive session where you asked the same questions, and then you come out here and you ask the same questions. And it just seems that no matter what the answer is, you just want to push your agenda. And then we were going to discuss the items that Sean had asked in the email, because they had to do with borough code. But what do you guys do? You put it on Facebook. We were shut down. When I see that on Facebook, how do you expect us to work together as one big group? Meeting adjourned.